Greetings everyone and welcome back to a new video. Now today, I actually want to talk about the Battlefront Classic Collection. I've been able to play it for a while. If anything, I pretty much have all the achievements except for some of the legendary award medals that are left on Battlefront 2. So I just wanted to say with that I've been playing for quite a few hours now. I think about 10 to 12 hours since it released on the PlayStation 5 instead of PC. So I currently don't have any gameplay on my own. So you probably will see snippets from either the trailer or some other gameplay that I was able to find that kind of speaks to what I want to talk about. And it's just genuinely a short review that I want to give out, which I feel like is pretty important because I've been releasing Battlefront content lately and I've been talking about the Classic Collection. I've been sort of hyping it up because, you know, I grew up with the Battlefront games and it feels like I get to relive my childhood in the way that I envisioned it as a kid. Separately, I do have to say, because I've also seen it for PC, I really appreciate the fact that they're not using the main menu for the PC in the old Classic versions because they had low resolutions, they would pretty much screw up any other window you would have on your screen, and it's a mess because once you get into a game, the resolution would be back to normal and everything would be perfect. But once you get back to the menu, it would be jumbled again, and it's just very jarring to experience. So I'm very glad they were able to use back in the day, the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox menu screen for everything. Regardless, I do also have to appreciate the fact that you can seamlessly transfer between the first game and the second game. There's generally like a menu screen for the Classic Collection, and then you can hop into Battlefront 1 or Battlefront 2 to your choice, and then there's another option to get back into that menu in order to go to the other game. So it's very quick. You don't have to like quit the game and re-enter it in order to access the other game. So I do appreciate that. I also have to appreciate the fact you can play Hero Assault on basically every map, if I recall correctly. I was able to play it on Mustafa and Coruscant. I didn't try on any other maps. I will have to say though, I don't know about your experience, but for me, it's a little bit jarring because there's no background music for any other planet than Tatooine. At least in my experience, I haven't had any background music, and it was just a very quiet fight with hero and villains alike, and I just didn't feel the experience. I miss my Cantina music and my Jabba the Hutt music in the background whenever I was playing in Tatooine. But no other map really has any music whatsoever. At least in my experience on the PlayStation. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but this is what it is for me. Regardless, I do want to mention a couple of the bad stuff now as well, because I will have to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed. If anything, I'm very disappointed with the game right now. Generally, I suffered on the map of Hoth, at least, on the campaign for Battlefront 2. The ground was having a graphical glitch everywhere. I don't know if this is because of the AI upscale they used or anything, but it was very jarring to see, and it really brought me out of the immersion, and it happened a couple times. Space battles, if you try to access the other ship as a person instead of, you know, in a ship, because you have the option to get inside the capital ship and destroy things from the inside, most of the time, enemies will disappear and attack you while they're invisible, reappear. If you open doors, sometimes you won't even actually see the ground texture. You'll see just the space in the background, and it's just very, again, a jarring experience. And this is mostly in Battlefront 2. I will have to say that for Battlefront 1 experience, it's pretty great. I've actually been enjoying my time on Battlefront 1. I feel like that was great so far. I like the sensitivity. I like the gameplay there. I generally like Battlefront 1 Classic, the graphics a little bit more than the second game, and I feel like I'm more immersed. With the second game of the Classic Collection, at least, the other problems I've found is that the sounds, I feel like they're either too compressed, or it's like it doesn't really matter which option you choose in the sound options, because it's just everything is super loud and some things are too quiet. Music can be at 100% volume and you can barely hear it, while you have the effects at 20% or 40% volume, and you can sometimes hear audio glitches because 3 ships at the same time crashed, and it feels like I just broke my headset basically. So it's just, again, I keep saying it, it's a very jarring experience. It's very annoying to experience, and it just gets you out of the immersion. The other problem I found with Battlefront 2 is the sensitivity. Now, I don't actually know if this is on the classic versions as well for console, or at least controller. I'm talking outside of the collection. I'm just trying to mention that I just struggle with the sensitivity of the second game. It feels like the smoothing is on 200% for the controller. Whereas in Battlefront 1 for the Classic Collection, the sensitivity is completely fine. And I've been generally able to experience it way better than the second game. In the second game, it feels like you're kind of just trying to drag your character around every time, and it's just annoying when when enemy AI gets around you and you can barely turn, even if you turn up the sensitivity, because I have tried that. I brought it up to like 7 or 8 instead of the default 4, and it's still very annoying to experience, and it makes the fights a little bit harder. But yeah, generally, I don't know much about the multiplayer myself. I've heard very bad things about it right now, that there's barely any servers. The games are either too short, and it's very hard to find your friends within the game list. I can't speak for the multiplayer myself because I was never interested in the multiplayer aspect of the old Battlefront games. I just loved playing Galactic Conquest, instant action, stuff like that. So far, I probably won't be playing the classic collection as much on the PlayStation anymore. I'll probably stick to the Battlefront 2, the classic version, and play the modded, because I've been enjoying that experience way more than the classic collection. The reason why I'm saying all this, with the positive and the negativities, my point being is, in my experience, I feel like the 35 euros you pay for it, or dollars, whatever your currency is being used for, it's usually above 30 euros, is way too much. Now, I bought it because I just wanted to try it out, and I didn't really think it was going to be this bad. And it isn't super bad, but I just don't feel like it justifies the price I've been paying for it. For basically 2 games in one basic collection, with a bit of upscaling and adding some DLCs that weren't available, and also hero assaults that are currently broken in the sense of the music and stuff like that. That's just because it's just way too quiet, but I already explained this at the start. While I do appreciate the additions, and it's very nice, outside of instant action and stuff like that, you won't be using them as much. And in my opinion, I feel like it's just a bit too much. Granted, I believe the Battlefront 1 and 2 games are like between 5 and 10 euros without sale, but they can be very cheap on sale, and you can currently do many more things. I've already seen a couple forums that people were able to mod the classic collection. I don't know if it works for every single mod, but for me right now, I just enjoy the experience of the old games or the modded experience, because obviously in terms of vanilla, I'm kind of done with it. I've experienced it way too much as a kid, and I've even played it as an adult a little bit, and I've been through everything already. I just want to play modded content that you guys make in the community, because it's absolutely awesome to experience. But yeah, in my opinion, I would hold to buy it until it's either on sale or until some of these fixes arrive. Especially for me, the most important things, literally one of the most important things for me in terms of the fixes, is the smoothing on the second game. If they have the same sensitivity as Battlefront 1, I think the experience will be much, much better. Anyways, short review. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.